mummy's with the maggots now.
Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
Well, hi there.
Hello and welcome to Would You Die, the show where I am a fucking piece. I'm also Austin Torres.
And I'm Anneliese Petersmark.
And we continue Slashtober by talking about Christopher Landon's, I'm going to say it, iconic 2020 slasher film, Freaky.
My favorite part of this movie was when I misread the opening credits and I said, Christopher Nolan directed this?
That was pretty funny. I forgot you said that.
That's amazing.
Yes.
But yeah, Freaky.
Freaky. So Freaky is a classic body swap horror slasher. When a cursed dagger causes high schooler Millie Kessler, played by Katherine Newton, to swap bodies with aging serial killer the Blissfield Butcher, played by Vince Vaughn, chaos, comedy, and carnage ensue. Millie has to race against time to reverse the curse before she's trapped in the killer's body forever.
Did you write that?
Yeah.
That was really good.
Thanks.
Reverse the curse. Ooh, and there was more good stuff in there, but I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I was pretty proud of chaos, comedy, and carnage. Love alliteration.
The 3 C's.
True. That's this podcast.
And you have yes, but yeah, that was really fucking good.
Thanks.
Have you been writing these this whole time?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's not that impressive when you're an English teacher. I'm supposed to know how to do that.
I thought you were like pulling them from like IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, they're getting good at this shit. They should hire you to do those.
Thank you. So,
but this past one was way too good. I'm like,
so what is your personal connection with this movie?
So I remember being really hyped for Freaky, but when Freaky came out, it was 2020. It came out, I think, October of 2020. So movie theaters weren't really open yet, but some were trying to get back into it. I liked Happy Death Day, which was another film by Christopher Landon. Basically, I just really wanted to see this movie because it was Vince Vaughn in a horror movie. And he hasn't done that in a while. Mm-hmm. And Vince Vaughn, I think, is a really good actor. I like Vince Vaughn.
I completely agree.
So to see him in like a fun horror comedy, not Scream, but Freaky, I'm like, I want to see this movie so bad. October 2020, theaters are like, not really happening. There are some that are open,
Right.
They're not making like money. I remember I rented it. I paid like $20 to rent it because I wanted to watch it so bad. And then I watched it. And it was awesome.
True.
And then I've seen it like 5 times since
Nice.
it came out. How about you? What's your personal connection to this film?
This was the first time that I had watched it. I knew I was going to like it going in because I, too, love Vince Vaughn. I was really excited that it was a horror comedy because I feel like he's a very underrated actor in general, but specifically horror actor. And then also, obviously, not an underrated comedic actor, but very, very funny. And then on top of that, I love Katherine Newton.
Yeah.
We've talked on this podcast about how Lisa Frankenstein is one of my favorite horror movies. And so I was really excited to see it, but it just like never got around to it. It's one of those things where, you keep seeing it like pop up on your Amazon Prime and you're like, gotta watch that, but like you never get to it. So I was really excited to have the opportunity. And I had so much fun. I love when I have fun watching these movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but like sometimes when I watch these movies, because I'm so focused on like getting the notes ready for the podcast, sometimes it can feel more analytical than it can, but I literally just had so much fun watching this movie. It was a really great time.
I didn't realize you'd never seen it.
No, I'm excited.
I'm glad because I was like, Lisa would like this one, but I was thinking like I wasn't thinking Lisa would like this. I'm sure Lisa loves this movie.
That's fair.
I didn't even fathom the idea
Mm-hmm.
that you hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what's your personal connection with Freaky?
Not only did I watch it for the first time, was that yesterday? 2 days ago?
No, it was Sunday.
Sunday.
So, yeah, 2 days
Yeah,
ago.
so not only was that the first time I had seen it, it was also the first time I'd heard of it. Which is hilarious because you said, like, your hint at the end of last episode was, it's not Freaky Friday, but it kind of is. And at no point did I even question it. I was like, that doesn't sound like any movie that we're doing, but I'm going to go with him on this. I loved it. I thought it was great. As a comedy person, Vince Vaughn is so funny. I loved him, and I've loved him since, like, I was a kid, like, when he was doing, like, Fred Claus, right? Like, he's such an awesome comedic actor. I don't think nobody really understands comedic timing the way that Vince Vaughn does. And you see it in this movie. I mean, like, him essentially playing a teenage girl is peak comedy. Hilarious.
Yeah.
And I like Katherine Newton. She's a good actress. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything that I haven't enjoyed her in. So
Sure.
I mean, I was excited about the premise off the get-go, and then, like, as the movie was going the whole way through, it was just, like, every step of the way, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I want this movie to be the whole way through. So it was great. I liked it a lot.
This is going to be a fun episode. Yes.
I'm sorry. Just as an aside, because I want to mention this while we're talking about Vince Vaughn and what a great actor
Oh,
he
cool.
is.
We're going to be on the same page because
Okay.
my aside is Vince Vaughn related.
I feel like it's important to mention this. So, was your first episode of OG Would You Die in podcast form about Norman Bates? Was that the first one that you did, or it was one of the first ones?
It was Norman Bates.
Yeah.
It's crazy you remember that.
So the reason that I remember is because
Shout out my homie Brett Miller.
Yes, Brett. I very clearly remember listening to that episode and hearing you guys talk about specifically the Psycho remake
Yes.
with Vince Vaughn playing Norman Bates. And you being like you guys talking about how him being this like physically imposing character, which he was not in the original, and Vince Vaughn's like a big dude, you know?
Yeah.
Really added kind of depth to the character in a way that the original, you know, I mean, obviously the original has a lot of depth. I'm not trying to say that, but
Right.
you know what I mean? Added like a different dimension to it. And I remember immediately after listening to that episode, watching the remake for the first time because I wanted to see what you guys were talking about. And I think that's a cool kind of like Easter egg connection, because that was one of the first things that I remember about this podcast, is like being like, this podcast is going to get me to think about horror movies in a very different way.
Yeah.
And I love that. And that's all I
Thank
wanted
you.
to say, is that I'm glad we're here, because that was several years ago, and look at us now. So
Who would have thought?
who would have thought? Look at us.
Vince Vaughn's web connects us all.
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
And that was before Jeremy existed. So
I was just a wee lad.
Yeah, we lad. All right, so my Vince Vaughn aside, because while we're still talking about personal connections, do you guys remember the first time you seen Vince Vaughn in a movie?
Wedding Crashers, yeah.
Wedding Crashers, okay.
oh boy. This is gonna be a weird. It was probably Rudy for me, but like the first.
Oh yeah, he is in that movie.
yeah, but
And so's like Jon Favreau.
but like the first time that I remember seeing like Vince Vaughn in like a very stereotypical Vince Vaughn role was probably Wedding Crashers.
So I have a very specific one that most people who know me listening to this already know what it is, and everyone but Jeremy, well, not everyone but Jeremy, but I'm pretty sure Jeremy won't guess what I'm about to say. But my first Vince Vaughn
I know
movie
exactly what you're gonna say.
was The Lost World Jurassic Park.
That is hilarious. I'm realizing I think mine's wrong.
It's not Wedding Crashers?
I think it's Dodgeball.
That would be my second. Like,
Yeah.
at least what I remember Vince Vaughn, and
Yeah.
because obviously Lost World is it for me.
That was the thing. Is as soon as you were like, "What's the first movie you saw?" Well, I was like, "Well, I know what Austin's is
Yeah.
gonna be."
But
I feel like that's another one kind of like Rudy, though, where people kind of forget he was in that
right.
movie.
So when you say as a comedic actor, then I'm like, then mine's probably Dodgeball. Too.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't Wedding Crashers. I don't think I've ever actually seen Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, I love Wedding. They're probably like the second best Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson project outside of the Xfinity commercials.
I was like, where are you going with that?
That was a really good joke that if Jeremy listens back to this, he'll get.
Sorry.
It's fine.
That was a very
I'm just
good
very
joke.
funny, and he misses it all the time.
And misses it so bad that the entire internet knows.
Yep. And I'll keep saying it. So just for a little bit of a historical context, we've already kind of touched on a lot of this, but
Yeah.
Freaky was marketed as Freaky Friday meets Friday the 13th.
That was its original title, was Freaky Friday the 13th.
Yes. It was released in November 2020, so probably early
I'm sorry.
November, but close. It was during the pandemic, so it had a hybrid release of in theaters and on demand, like a lot of movies at the time did. And yeah, like you said, not a lot of people going to the theaters at this point. But Christopher Landon, who directed it, established himself with the Happy Death Day films. The first one came out in 2017, I think. Mm-hmm. So people were kind of already looking forward to this one because of a combination of him doing Happy Death Day, obviously Vince Vaughn's notoriety, and then Katherine Newton had already kind of started making a name for herself at that point as well.
I think this film was like the one where it's like, oh, she is...
Yeah.
Because I think earlier that year she had Detective Pikachu. Mm-hmm. But that was 2019 was Detective Pikachu. But people weren't going for Katherine Newton. They were going for Pikachu.
Right.
Like...
Yeah, they were not going for Katherine Newton.
And like the average age of that movie was 12. Or the average age of the audience member for that movie was 12. Whereas like Freaky is aimed at adults. Mm-hmm. And the people who did see it, they're like, oh, that Katherine Newton? If they didn't already know her from Supernatural or...
Right. At that point, she had been in, like, this very short-running show called The Society.
Yeah.
That kind of had similar vibes.
Paranormal Activity 4, she was in.
Oh, you're right.
So, fans of Paranormal Activity, you know.
Yeah. But then, like, obviously, after Freaky, she did, like, Quantumania. She did Lisa Frankenstein, Abigail. Yeah.
Like, now I would say she's, at the very least, she is a horror star. Mm-hmm.
I know her from a show called The Society on
Just
Netflix.
mentioned
And it's
The
like,
Society.
well,
You
here's, I
never
know.
listen to me talk.
Hold on. I listen to you talk. I was saying, I know her from the show The Society, which left off on a horrific cliffhanger that will now never, ever, ever, ever be.
I thought you were doing
Fixed.
a bit.
No.
I thought
Really
you were
thought
doing
you were
a
doing
bit.
a bit.
No, Anneliese likes to yell at me for not listening to her before I get the thought out that then showed I was listening.
I'm
to.
sorry. So you said, I know her from a show called The Society after I just mentioned The Society.
Well, sure, but I was more making a comment about the show.
All right.
I got to side with Anneliese on this one.
Yeah, you didn't listen at all.
Because I was about to say, bruh. She just said that.
So, anyway, moving on through to Slashtober.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I say one more thing about the COVID
Yeah, please.
release of this film? I think, because actually, no, I'm going to save my thought for cultural impact. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was getting ahead of ourselves.
Fine.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You don't got to be freaky about...
Hey. So,
Slashtober.
Freaky fits into the slasher genre pretty well while also kind of subverting the tropes, right?
That's kind of a theme this month.
It really is.
We like our subversive slashers.
We really do. So, obviously, we have our final girl.
Mm-hmm.
Millie is our final girl. But she spends most of the time not in her own body.
Yeah.
Which I find really fun because, as Jeremy mentioned, watching Vince Vaughn play a teenage girl is very fun. Because, see, I listen to him when he talks.
So one of my favorite things about this movie, honestly, is watching Vince Vaughn play a teenage girl.
I have a hot take related to that.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn in Freaky is better than Jack Black in Jumanji.
I've never seen Jumanji, so I cannot speak to that.
Of all the takes that I thought could possibly come out of your mouth, I just never saw that coming.
But do you agree?
Probably. I think that's probably fair.
I think because Jack Black got a lot of love for playing a teenage girl in his body, and he should have because he was great. But Vince Vaughn does it so much better in Freaky, and people would know it if they saw the movie.
One thing I was going to say about the body swap nature of this film in general is one thing I think that a lot of body swap movies don't do well is the actors mimicking the mannerisms of the person they're supposed to be. And this movie does a very good job. Both actors do a very good job of, like, Katherine Newton does a good job being Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn does a good job being Katherine Newton. Like, they both capture each other's mannerisms really effectively.
Something that I think was really good, and this is underrated, and it's not going to mean anything to anybody else, but literally the first thing that we see Vince Vaughn do when Millie is in the slasher's body is the teenage girl stretch, which I don't know how to explain it, but you know it when you see it. It's every teenage girl wakes up the exact same way, and he does it, and it's like that is something that most people I don't think would even bother to catch because it's kind of something small and insignificant, but he does it right away, and I was like, yes, correct. But yeah, so we have our final girl, but obviously flipped by swapping bodies with the killer, and again, spoiler alert for Freaky.
That's actually important because even though this is a 5-year-old movie, there's a good chance you didn't see this movie.
Correct. Or hear of it till Sunday.
That's real.
Which you should go watch this. This movie is very fun. But there's a split second at the end where we think, shit, are we stuck with Millie and Vince Vaughn's body like forever? Because her phone goes off and it's midnight and they haven't switched. So, you know, that is like a scary moment where we're like, is our final girl going to be a final man for the rest of her life? That's crazy.
I don't know if he's a final man. I think a slasher villain.
Well, you know, final man.
Slasher man.
We have to talk about the creative kills because that's also kind of a hallmark of at least the movies we've talked about this month. Maybe not slashers in general, but like the movies that we've talked about so far this month, very creative kills. So what, like, you know.
Isn't this our superlative?
Yeah, no, it is like it's part of it, but I was just gonna say, do we want to mention any of the ones that are not our favorites and then leave the big reveal for the end, or?
I want to save just so we just geek out.
Okay.
We'll say our favorites and then geek because there's a bunch of them, but I don't want to accidentally say my favorite.
No, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're to blindly shout, not blindly shout, but to just shout them out in general. These are great kills. They might be the best of this month.
Yeah.
Although in fairness, they stood. They're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah, they have a lot of history to work from. But yeah, we have a lot of good kills this month. It's so fun.
And it's both easier and harder because it's like. It's easier in the sense it's like, oh, you know what's been done. But it's harder because it's like, how do you top it? You got to, you know, but that's the fun part of creating.
Yeah, totally. Those are something we'll talk about more in detail later. Like you said, the setting I think is really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to make sense because this is kind of vibes based, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of Stranger Things, how they kind of use the whole map, if that makes sense. Like they use the whole town to kind of tell this story. Like we see her, it's not just like with other slasher movies, it's like we see like the main places. I don't know if that makes sense, but like for example, I'll use Scream as an example. We see Woodsboro High.
Yep.
We see Stu Macher's house. And then we see a little bit of Sidney Prescott's house. And that's kind of it.
Casey Becker's house. But
yeah. Okay, but other than the opening scene, like we don't see a lot of the rest of the town. Whereas in like Millie is shown like walking through the town and interacting with people. She obviously goes to the high school and to the football game. They go to the mall or like a shopping center. They go to
Yeah, it's more like a mini or not like a not department store.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of
It's like a strip mall, but like
yeah,
with
strip
a
mall. That's the
department
word I'm
store
looking
in it.
for.
Yeah, they go to the police station. They're like
Right.
kind of all over the map, and I don't feel like horror movies in general do that very often.
Have you seen Happy Death Day or
Yeah.
We Have a Ghost?
I've seen Happy Death Day.
I feel like Christopher Landon's very good
Mm-hmm.
at this because I think Happy Death Day
Yeah.
feels the same way. I think We Have a Ghost feels the same way.
Yeah, that's definitely one of his strengths. But I like
Yeah.
that because I feel like, and like we talked about this with Evil Dead Rise, I think. Yeah, Evil Dead Rise, where a lot of horror movies take place in enclosed spaces.
Yeah.
And that's on purpose. That's purposeful. It is because, you know, that makes it scarier if you're trapped. But I think what makes this one scary is kind of the opposite, where he can find her anywhere.
Yeah.
In anybody. Doing anything, you know what I mean? So I thought that was interesting and very fun, the way that we use kind of the whole map.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree, and I think that's gonna tie into next week's.
Yeah,
too,
I agree.
where it's you don't see it all the time, but a setting can be very, very beneficial to your slasher film if it feels like a character.
Yes.
I'm talking about Haddonfield, Illinois. Spoilers for next week.
Crazy.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
According to Rotten Tomatoes, our friends over at Rotten Tomatoes,
Okay.
this film is a top 10 slasher film of all time. Correct or incorrect take?
Of all
This is ranked as their 10th highest rated slasher.
well,
To be fair, I want to be really clear because I think I'm gonna give Austin like acid reflux with my next comment. According to them, the 7th best slasher film of all time is Sweeney Todd.
and I'm looking at I see two movies on your screen. 'Cause
Yep.
I can see your screen. One of them's Freaky. The other one is 2021 Candyman.
Yes.
And
It's a weird list, I won't lie to you.
and I can make and I think you can make I don't know if I would consider Candyman movies slashers. I get it. He has a hook.
Yeah.
And he, you know, slashes, but they don't feel like slashers to me. What I'm trying to say is
I don't know that all of the ones in this top 10 list are slashers.
I
where the fuck
would
is
agree.
Scream?
Scream is like wildly low.
It's an invalid list.
Okay.
Yep.
Scream 2 is the highest rated Scream on this list at 13.
That is not it.
It's incorrect. Yeah, Scream
yeah.
is 18.
2021 Candyman should not be ahead of OG Candyman. I like 2021 Candyman a lot too, but that's
Scream-
insane.
Original Scream came in at number 18 on the
New
list.
Nightmare is 22.
This is no, we do not agree with our friends.
No, this is a bad list.
Where's Black Christmas? Where's Texas Chainsaw?
Texas Chainsaw was what, 11?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. No, this is a bad list.
It's not a bad list because Freaky is in top 10.
Totally Killer is
No,
number 6. That's good.
but not over a
I
lot
like
of these
Totally
others.
Killer, but it's not
Also,
a top 10
Sleepy
slasher.
Hollow is on this list, and Sleepy Hollow's not a slasher. Goodbye.
Rotten Tomatoes do better.
Black Christmas is 42,
That's-
under Sleepy Hollow.
Your-
American Psycho is 43.
Your Next is number 14, which is a movie I like.
Friday the
but
13th
I like.
is 45.
Oh.
But
That was a fun noise.
No, I hear you, but 45?
That is pretty low, especially when Totally Killer is 6.
Child's Play is 49.
I like. Oh, that's really low. Anyways,
Sorry.
Freaky's good.
No, I'm looking at the rest of this list before we move on.
Freaky's good.
2021
Freaky
Slumber
is
Party
good.
Massacre is number 23, which is wild.
I completely agree that Freaky is fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the problem with this list.
No,
This list
no.
is
Exactly.
bad for other reasons.
Yes.
Like,
This is insane.
This is a crazy, crazy list. Like, the fact that I Know What You Did Last Summer is 77 is a lot.
Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors is higher than Friday the 13th.
It should
Not
be,
too much
actually.
on Dream Warriors.
They are next to each other.
Dream Warriors should be a lot higher. Dream Warriors, you can make the argument for top 10.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
that's insane to me. Okay, we need to move on.
Yeah.
We need to move on.
I just wanted to get to the bottom of the list. I'm here. I'm back. Kind of the last thing that I wanted to talk about during the main Slashtober is this time limit urgency that we don't always have in slasher, like straight up slash, like classic slashers, but we do see in like supernatural slashers a lot, where we have a midnight deadline. It's a hard deadline. Mm-hmm. A lot of times slashers are very like, you have to survive till sunrise type things. And so this is an interesting like twist on that, because a lot of the movie actually happens during the day. It doesn't wait for it to be night before, it starts its stuff.
Right. It really just waits for the night to start its third act.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which, I mean, that makes sense, obviously, but
the entire second act is the day.
Yeah.
Which isn't the case for a lot of slasher movies.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of for Scream.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of for another one we'll talk about, but
yes,
for the most part, I agree with you.
Yes. Can we talk, because I just don't know where else to fit it in, can we talk about Alan Ruck as Mr. Bernardi, the shop teacher?
What a crazy casting.
Yeah, first of all. Jot
Crazy
that down.
good casting.
But also just like objectively the worst character ever on the face of the planet. And there's a serial killer in this movie. I mean, like, I'm sorry. I have to talk about it because I'm a teacher. Who is like, hey, this girl who lost her dad a year ago, I gave her a deadline. I told her she had to be ready by the 16th, which the movie starts on the Thursday, the 12th, mm-hmm. which means that the 16th is Monday, which means she has an entire weekend to get her woodshop project done. And then he goes, hey, I know it's the 12th, but present. And she goes, you told me I had till the 16th. And then he's like, you're a fucking slacker and I hate you. And now you're holding up the whole class. That's fucking awful. Bad man deserved what he got.
But is he the worst character in the history of cinema, like you just said?
Yes.
Guy Woodhouse would like to have a word.
Who's that?
The motherfucker from Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, you're right. Okay, never mind. Fine. Okay, he's like third worst.
Is that?
That's Spike Lee.
Hell yeah, Spike Lee.
We have playoff baseball on in the background.
We're recording a podcast.
Listen, when I see Spike Lee, I gotta acknowledge.
Okay, Spike Lee is at the game. Fork found in kitchen. Like,
but he's usually a Knicks guy.
Yeah, I was about to
it's
say.
New York sports, and this is playoffs.
That's true.
You never see him at Jets games.
Yeah, but in fairness, you don't see Jets fans at Jets games.
The Jets have fans?
The Packers do.
Hey, quick. What's the Super Bowl trophy named?
There's a reason I was bringing that up.
Okay.
Because Freaky has a jump scare Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're right.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. No, I didn't forget. So yeah.
I set you up and you attacked me.
I'm sorry. You're right.
She's sensitive these days about the Packers.
You know what? I have a losing football team.
We are recording this September 30th. The Packers could be playing their best football right now. And we
Okay,
have no
all right.
clue.
Let's all
Yeah,
like
that's true.
hold on. Just truce. A tie, if you will.
I want you packed up and out. Leave the cats.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so there is kind of a Packers jump scare. And that is that in classic slasher fashion, they have to hide our main character in Vince Vaughn's body by using a mask. And very a la Halloween Mike Myers.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, we have a mask of a famous figure.
Mm-hmm.
And that famous figure happens to be future Hall of Fame, former Packers starting quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
And it's hilarious because, one, Vince Vaughn in that mask is kind of terrifying.
Oh, yeah. Fully insane.
It's scarier than the actual Blissfield Butcher mask.
Yes.
Which to me gives like Jason vibe.
To me, it was very, like, which I'm sure this is not a coincidence because I'm sure that this mask was also based off of Jason, but it's very, like, Leslie Vernon to me.
Yeah, that's, yeah. But, like...
But, yeah,
I love when, so, for context, because we haven't mentioned them, Millie, she has two friends, Nyla and... Is it Josh?
No.
There's Booker. Booker!
No, it's Josh. It's Josh.
Josh, yeah.
It's Josh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I forgot Josh's name for a second because he is funny.
Yes.
But
Phenomenal. But yes, okay. So we have Nyla and Josh.
they are funny. I think
Correct.
non-binary.
Yep.
Josh is non-binary, but Josh is very, very gay, non-binary.
Or as the police say, we're looking for a lost vehicle. 2 teenagers in the front. 1 black, 1 excited.
One excited. That was
line
good.
killed me.
That was good.
Anyway.
That I do want to say that it's so funny because Millie's like Aaron Rodgers, who, and Josh comes like quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. God, even I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a jump scare. There was part of me that was like, oh my God, Austin just picked this movie to pick on me. He did it to hurt my feelings. And that's fine. That would be fair play, actually. But yeah, no, it was hilarious. Just watching him walk around in the Aaron Rodgers mask was so funny. Especially like because he couldn't see in it.
I forgot about that bit.
It was very good. It was a very
And
good.
I got jump scared.
It only was a good bit for like 3 people, but I was one of those 3 people.
I feel like it was a good bit for a lot of people.
I know, I'm kidding.
Especially when it came out.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
And yet on film, Aaron Rodgers, forever a Packer.
True.
In the eyes of horror fans.
In the eyes of, horror fans. So, speaking about cultural impact, though it wasn't like a huge, massive box office film because of the pandemic, I actually believe it probably would have been had it been released a little earlier or a little later.
I think it would have been a bigger hit.
Exactly.
And you know who agrees with me?
Who?
The one of the distributors. So Blumhouse distributed this.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Jason Blum has said a few years after the fact, like one of his biggest regrets was how they released Freaky.
Right.
Because he thought, and I agree with him, they had a bona fide hit.
I agree.
But they didn't want to wait. They didn't want to wait to put it out, and then...
I think having the gift of hindsight and seeing how many movies did wait, because I understand that impulse. You're like, I don't want to wait on this movie I just spent a lot of money on. I think now seeing how many movies like have waited and did become commercial successes,
right?
They probably would have, but I also understand, like, you don't know that that's gonna happen.
Not all movies can have the marketing foresight of 2025 War of the Worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
everyone
was
go
like
check
made
out,
around the same time that Freaky was made.
Everyone go check out our podcast.
Our Patreon.
Our Patreon.
You're already checking out our podcast.
You are checking out our podcast.
Thank you.
We're very grateful. Now give us money. No. No, but even though it wasn't a huge box office success, it did gain like cult status, and specifically, the more people kind of dive into Katherine Newton's career, I think the more people find this movie and realize, think of it. It's a lot of fun, especially when and I know I've brought it up once already, but when Lisa Frankenstein came out and Abigail came out, like kind of in quick succession, I think a lot of people were more likely to go back into the backlog, see another horror movie on Katherine Newton's books, and be like, okay, gotta go watch that one. And then Vince Vaughn's performance was very widely praised because, again, he balances this comedy and like the terror so well. I think the last scene is so it's even more scary than the beginning of the movie because of the fact that you've spent this entire movie watching Vince Vaughn in a teenage girl's body. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With teenage girls' mannerisms. So then to see him become this
a teenage girl in Vince Vaughn's
Exactly.
body.
That's what I meant. To see him become this very imposing, scary figure again and call her weak because he's been in her body and he knows her weak points is
for him to be menacing again.
Chef's kiss. Love that. And then, not to mention, it's continuing the trend of like meta slashers, which we've talked about, but has kind of played through history with, I mean, even just ones we talked about this month, Scream and Leslie Vernon, Happy Death Day, Cabin in the Woods, which we talked about previously. All of those kind of falling into this genre.
And then another thing we have to talk about with Freaky in terms of like cultural impact, I think, is it's a very queer film.
Yes.
And I think it should be commended for that. The filmmakers, Michael Kennedy, the writer, is a gay man. He's open and out. Christopher Landon, I believe, is also queer.
Nice.
But anyways, I don't think it's a coincidence that these filmmakers are making a film about being uncomfortable in your body. They're not trans, but this film is a very clear trans allegory.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And about finding comfort in your body, and it's a very forward film in that way. It has that, also has that teen, like, dialogue.
Yeah.
There's that one great moment where it's like, you're black, I'm gay, we're screwed.
Yeah. I will say, I have some mixed feelings about this trend in modern, specifically horror, but it also exists in other movies. Modern movies that try to, oh God, this is going to sound so gross, but I'm going to say it and then I'm going to explain myself so that I don't sound gross. That try to like use identity politics to appeal to teenage audiences. I think a lot of times they fall into this almost making fun of people in marginalized communities by being, they kind of fall into this idea of like making fun of marginalized communities instead of protecting them the way that they think they do by turning them into like stereotypes or, stuff like that. Just using like trite dialogue. I think Freaky does a really good job of towing the line between like having these characters and this representation and openly talking about it and like, using some of that humor without going too far into the like cringy stereotypical dialogue that some other movies from around this time particularly fall into.
I think it helps that the filmmakers were queer.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
And they're not like, it was studio mandated to go after a demographic. A lot of this came from the heart, from the people who made it. So I think that helps. You know what I mean?
Right.
I gotta say, one of my favorite parts while we're on this subject is when the Blissfield Butcher, that's a slasher name, a great slasher name. We love alliteration.
Yes, we do.
The Blissfield Butcher is in Katherine Newton's body, tied up at Josh's house. And Josh's mom comes home early from work. And she's like, what are you guys doing? And thinking on their feet, Josh is like, role-playing. And no one's buying it. And the mom's like, isn't that a sex game? And he's like, it is. Listen, I didn't want to have to tell you like this, but I've been feeling this way for a while. I just have to let you know, I'm straight. And like the Blissfield Butcher's like, she's tied up and like
Yep.
starts laughing like that.
And then the mom's like, you're a lot of things, but you've never been straight.
I love that.
So good.
I love that reversal, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It is so wholesome and so great. Well, I don't know if wholesome's the right word, but
a little, I mean, kind of, yeah.
her reaction to it is very wholesome. But I love where it's that I'm straight. It's such a good moment.
Yes, definitely. Are we ready to move on to our superlatives?
Our freakylatives.
Our freakylatives? Who would you save?
I would save no one.
Oh, okay.
Because everyone who got it deserved it. Who would you save?
I would save Isaac, who is from the opening scene. He was one of the people who got killed in the opening scene.
You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
He was the only guy who got killed in the opening scene.
There were 2 guys that got killed in the opening scene.
Really? Okay. Well, he's one of them. I can't tell you which one because it will reveal my favorite kill. But we'll talk about it later.
Okay. I think I know who he is. And we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
I'm standing by my... I would save Millie from having to go through this whole ordeal.
Having to wear an Aaron Rodgers mask.
From having to find out who Aaron Rodgers is.
Hey. That's fair. I wish I didn't know who he was either. Jeremy, who do you want to save? Do you want to save the boy?
What boy?
Her boyfriend. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Booker.
Booker. I think I'm saving
Booker.
Booker from kissing Vince Vaughn.
I knew you were. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
We both were not.
There's a wild scene.
Oh.
Is it weird that I kind of want to kiss you right now? Yeah.
Technically, you'd be kissing a serial killer with yellow teeth. And he's like, I don't care. And then they'd start, and then it's like, I kind of care.
What was your favorite scare?
My favorite scare. I was not expecting to see quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, pop on my screen. I was terrified. No.
I understand with the Lions' history with Aaron Rodgers that would be scary for you. Yeah.
I know. For a second, I thought they were just going to call a face mask. That never happened.
But, no, I think there are more quality laughs than there are great kills. There's great gore.
Not a lot of good, like, jump scares, like old-fashioned.
Not for me. To me, this is a horror comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mine, I think, this is, again, like, it's not great, but it was probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
When she is running from him at the beginning of the movie, and she, like, comes out from under the bleachers, I definitely expected the good old-fashioned, like, dragging her back, and then to have him in front of her, that scared me.
I think what I'll put, that is a good one. I think what I'll put as my favorite, it's not like a real scare, it's just a scary thing that I like, is when it's when the Blissfield Butcher wakes up in Millie's body, and Katherine Newton is, like, doing that serial killer, like, head look, and she has, like, that glare in her eyes. I think Katherine Newton as the Blissfield Butcher is really... She's doing things.
Yeah. Jeremy, this feels like a good time for us to talk about your plot hole that you mentioned when we watched this movie.
I remember the conversation, and I don't remember what I said the plot hole was.
When she walks into the school. Her appearance.
Oh, yeah. I said one of the biggest plot holes I think I would have is that the Blissfield Butcher is transported into a teenage girl's body and immediately is like, I know exactly how to do my hair, my makeup, and how to dress.
Yeah.
Like, Vince Vaughn was like, I've been waiting for this moment.
Why do you think he started serial killing?
Why do you think he started serial killing?
Because he was born to slay.
Ah.
Instead, he must kill.
Oh. Yeah, I did think that was a pretty good point, because he was like, I know this is gonna sound funny, but I wouldn't know how to do a ponytail. And I was like, that's a compelling point. I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is your Tony Todd Award for movie MVP?
I so desperately want to give it to Vince Vaughn, but I feel like it's really obvious. So I'm going to go for the other obvious answer and say Katherine Newton.
That's nice. I said Vince Vaughn.
Yeah!
I'm going to give it to Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, really, really out of his comfort zone for this one.
Oh my goodness. But the two of them together, just...
Yeah, definitely.
Because they had to work together to bring their characters to life, you know?
Yes, for sure.
A lot of their scenes, they were not together. So
Correct, but they definitely had to work together to, like you say, get the mannerisms down.
Right.
Is the score better than Jaws?
No.
No, it is not. But Bear McCreary.
Yes! I love Bear McCreary.
Yeah, he's done a fuck ton of shit. Just going through his, like, shit that he has done. Television shows. He's done Battlestar Galactica.
Mm-hmm.
Black Sails, which is one of my favorite shows.
Mm-hmm.
Outlander, which is another one of my favorite shows. He has also done The Walking Dead. He has done Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Lord of the Rings.
Snowpiercer. I was getting to it.
I'm sorry. I got excited. I thought you were doing
Snowpiercer.
the older one, and then I thought you jumped backwards for some reason.
Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Which
I
he
got
says
excited.
was like his dream come true. In terms of films, he did Step Up 3D, which has phenomenal music. Not exactly the same genre as all of his other stuff, but very much. He's done with a lot of Christopher Landon movies. He did
my favorite.
both of the Happy Death Day movies, and he did Freaky.
Say my favorite Bear McCreary score. Say it.
I don't.
Say it.
I don't know.
I'm about to explode with excitement.
I do know, but I'm getting there. He did the Cloverfield movies. He did 10 Cloverfield Lane and Cloverfield Paradox, Child's Play, and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Woo! I love it. I love that score so much.
Yes.
It is. Say what you will about that movie. That score is so good.
Yes, it is.
I still listen to the Rodan track.
That's fair.
All the time.
My favorite scores by him are actually video game scores. God of War and God of War Ragnarok. He did those. Love to put those on when I'm studying, or I guess I don't study anymore, but when I'm grading and stuff like that.
Or creating your study plans for your kids.
Exactly. Just phenomenal. Makes me feel like I'm.
I also want to
worth something.
shout out, I know you said it already, but 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good. I love Bear McCreary.
Yes. He studied under Elmer Bernstein.
Which is insane. Elmer Bernstein's
also
a
did
legend.
A fuck ton of crazy shit. So we love Bear McCreary. He did an excellent job with this score and many, many others.
I think Freaky as a score is good. It's better than a lot of slasher scores.
Yes, I totally agree.
And Bear McCreary's judging it against other slasher scores, it's great. Judging it against other Bear McCreary scores, it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
And you can't have a 20-piece low brass section in the Freaky score like you can the Godzilla King of the Monsters score.
Yes.
So, but I love Bear McCreary.
All right, a fine addition to your collection. Do you own it?
I own it on Blu-ray.
Nice.
I own it on Blu-ray. I don't own it on 4K. yet. But I'm kind of waiting for them to do like a collector's edition. I feel like this film's gonna get it's
a re-release type thing.
Yes, but like a reappraised, like a like a cultural reappraisal. People are gonna discover it again.
Right.
I feel like if that movie was released maybe 2 years later, you'd see a lot of girls in that Katherine Newton like red jacket, ponytail, chainsaw get up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. I really want to own it. This is the problem with sometimes looking on Amazon for things, is every once in a while you'll find like a special edition and you'll click on it and you'll be like, what is included in the special edition? And then they don't tell you.
Oh.
So they have a Killer Switch edition, but I don't know what that means.
I think that's just the normal, and they try to get you by being like,
Well, no, because there's also a normal.
oh, I don't know then.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's all. I will own this one day.
Fantastic movie.
All right, fellas, get out your Letterboxd reviews.
Well, bam.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a word. That's the sound that Letterboxd.
Gotcha. Well, bam.
Well, bam.
Well, bam.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're
Well,
ready.
bam.
All right. I give this film 4 stars. I liked it. Thought it was really good. My review. All Vince Vaughn needs is a blonde co-star with good comedic timing. It's a shame that Owen Wilson wasn't available for this one, but still a fun movie.
That's very good. Sorry.
That was good.
Okay. I gave this 4 stars and heart.
Mm?
And I said, I have fun when Vince Vaughn has fun.
I went a different way than you guys. Not with the stars, though. I also gave this 4 stars and a heart.
Okay.
But this review does not mention Vince Vaughn at all. My review is Katherine Newton with a chainsaw. That's it. That's a review.
Yep. Correct. Amen.
And this was the 5th time I had watched Freaky. I was going to say in my Letterboxd era, but this came out in my Letterboxd era. And yeah, one of my older reviews on January 25th, 2023, I said, funny how the masked slasher has a killer sense of style.
Ha ha ha. Is that because of the Aaron Rodgers mask?
Nope.
No, it's because of the cool red leather jacket. You're right.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay, so for Supernatural alumni, we have mentioned her before because we've talked about her before, but Katherine Newton,
What?
our main character, also plays Claire Novak, who is a recurring character from seasons 10 through 13 on Supernatural. She plays one of the main character's daughters, kinda. That's the best way I can describe it, spoiler free.
Why'd that make me think of Spaceballs? I was your father's brother's uncle's former roommate.
It's very good. And then Alan Ruck, who plays Mr. Bernardi, the shop teacher, who we talked about, the most evil character that's ever existed.
Second only to Guy Woodhouse.
Sure. Is obviously most famously known for playing Detective Ronnie Jones in one episode of Supernatural.
What?
No, but he's most famous for playing Cameron from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But he was in one episode of Supernatural called Weekend at Bobby's, in which a character named Bobby, who is a recurring character, is being investigated, and he is the detective investigating the case. So, yeah.
And that should bring us to Best Kill.
It brings us to our special edition superlative, Best Kill.
You transition me. We go from Alan Tudyk. That's
Alan-
not
Alan
Tu-
Ruck.
Alan Ruck. Alan Tudyk is
Alan Tudyk
very
is
different.
Also phenomenal. Not this man.
Alan Ruck. Dr. Alan Grant. No. We go from Alan
Alan
Ruck
Thicke.
to Alan Ruck.
Okay.
Because my favorite kill of this movie is the woodshop teacher through the woodshop saw.
That's fair. That is a really good kill. That is my second favorite kill. My first favorite kill is the first kill of the movie. It is the wine bottle kill.
Okay, that's what I thought you were going to say, but the other guy who gets killed in the opening, he gets a tennis racket through the dome.
That's true. He does. And that's also disturbing, but
No, the wine
bottle kill down the throat and through the neck. Oh. Gross.
You got the good gore today.
Oh, Jeremy was in the other room. He hadn't really gotten this. First of all, I love this homage to Scream with the kind of false kill at the beginning. It's something that all of the Scream movies do, and I really love that this was kind of a very obvious homage to that. Very meta, very fun. But yeah, Jeremy was in the other room. He hadn't quite sat down yet, and he heard me going, oh my god, and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, this is visceral, just crazy. And he made a good point where he was like, horror comedies tend to do this a lot because they know they can play up the laughs, so they also want to be able to match the horror to it. So what they make up for in lack of jump scares, they usually play up the gore a lot. And I find that to be true because they can't really rely on suspense because it's really hard to go from ha ha ha, everything's really funny to boo, Not
everyone's Wes Craven.
Exactly. So I do think that's probably true, and I thought that was a good point.
Although I do think Christopher Landon could do it.
I think
he's a really good director, but that wouldn't have been right for the script.
True. Yeah.
Which is a great script.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Austin, would you die?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because I am not a teenage girl.
That's fair.
So I wouldn't. Are a teenage boy. I'm a man.
Mm-hmm. You are a man.
And I will not be stabbed with any Mexican, Aztec
fair
knives.
Yeah. I also would not die. Because although the only adult in this movie, besides obviously the butcher, who dies is a teacher, I'm not going to be a teacher who says, hey, fuck you, you're a bad student because I'm making you present 3 days early. And I'm not going to call you worthless. And I'm also not going to very easily overpower you because you're a teenage girl. And yes, granted, a serial killer in a teenage girl's body, but I don't know that. I'm not going to overpower you and then kick you in the stomach 3 times and then get in your fucking face. No.
Right.
So I would not die.
I would have just went to the principal's office.
Correct. I would be like, hello, this teenager is trying to kill me. Can we do something about it? And they would say no, and I would go back to my classroom because that's what teaching in 2025 is. But that's not the point. Anyway.
They're like, yeah, it's Tuesday.
Oh, we live in a nightmare. So where can the people find you guys on social media?
You can find me in my own body because I didn't get stabbed with a Mexican Aztec knife. You can also find me on the social medias at Austin M. Torres, wherever you social your media. Check out my Letterboxd if you like my reviews and think I'm funny. And if you don't, check out my Instagram for my pretty pictures. You can find the show's YouTube on YouTube at Would You Die Show, where you can listen to us again. Watch our show Spooky Spotlight, hosted by Deanna Hope. And watch my short films like Spider, The Blood Witch, and Ice Cream. And then follow us on Patreon. For only $3 a month, you get bonus episodes, us nerds talking about sports, and more.
More coming very soon, actually.
Woo woo.
Well, you can find me in an Aaron Rodgers mask. Or on Instagram and Letterboxd at Whimsawillow. Jeremy?
You can find me everywhere at Annually Funny, as well as in my classroom, praying to God no serial killer has entered the body of a teenager.
Our production is done by Jeremy Lippitt. Our music is done by Josie Palmer. Our graphics are done by Alec Gibson at Crosshook Creative. Austin, you kind of mentioned it earlier, but do you have a hint for next week? Our final Slashtober episode?
Just think about it, guys. You already know what it is. Totally. I'm Austin Torres.
And I'm Anneliese Petersmark.
Try not to die.